Now I'm going to do a second heat can kill you video. Now if you search here on YouTube, what I used was Fireman ice bag. Now in these, I just saw the initial picture. I didn't actually watch the video because I've seen them on TV what they do, or just had an idea. Well, they don't show your head being covered. They leave the bag open. They just kind of dump the ice over the core of your body. Maybe your lower extremities, and that's just enough to cool you down. They're not trying to get you really, really ice cold. They're just trying to get get your body temperature down from the dangerous heat levels. They probably don't immerse you in ice for very long. They probably just monitor your temperature until you get down safe. They immediately pull you back out. I don't know if they put either firemen in it. The firemen they've shown they have rigs that they'll when they're real hot they'll have it's not a conventional fire truck. It's got it's like an air conditioned, like a big air conditioned van. But these have seats in there where the firemen can sit in there and cool down while they're they'll take turns playing when they're either doing a mountain rescue or where they're fighting a fire, because they've shown this on TV. Now the second thing I'm going to cover now, that city the east of Phoenix is I'm forgetting it again, Scottsdale. Now, Scottsdale, if you don't know, Scottsdale is where all the rich people live. That's it's known for east of there are the Superstition Mountains. Now, Jacob Waltz was a guy known as the Dutchman. But he was actually German, not Dutch. He did become a U.S. citizen, and some people believe there's a legend of the Lost Dutchman gold mine. I'm sure you can search Lost Dutchman. I'm sure it'll come up here on YouTube. I haven't, but I'm sure it's one of those legends of the West. He died back in the late 1800s, but he supposedly had a mine out there that's like super rich, and people have been looking for it ever since this guy died. He had done some. According to legend, you don't know what's true and what's just made up to be a nice campfire story. Now, Jacob Waltz did work for Henry Wickenburg, and I personally believe that the Dutchman stole his gold from Wickenburg because, I've told that story a number of times, but some people do go out there and look for the Lost Dutchman gold mine, and a handful of people do end up dying out there. So if you go out in the heat of the desert, it's the heat can kill you. Be prepared for it. Now, another question I'm going to ask you. Now, as I've covered before, a lot of the city, state, federal parks, they'll close, for the midday, maybe about 10, 11 o'clock. They'll close them to new hikers. They'll open them up again real late. Now, there are people that can get out in the heat, and they're prepared for it. It doesn't hurt them. There are people that know how to that enjoy going out in the heat and hiking. Now they close the parks to everybody. Now, what I say is put big old signs up there, letting everybody know that if they get in trouble, the firemen will rescue you, but you're going to sit up there until it cools down a little bit until it's safe for them to get up there. Put big old signs on the entrances to these parks stating that instead of closing them. That would be fair to the I call these extremophiles, people that can get out in the heat and it doesn't really bother them. What do you think? You think the park should be just left open, but with big old signs, or should they do it should they keep closing them as they do now when it gets real hot? I just curious what other my viewer think on this. Okay, love you all. Still love this crazy world, and be careful out there. Be careful out in the heat if you do get out in the heat. Bye bye.